Published 1450 est. 5 November 2017. Updated 2254 est. 5 November 2017. Bono, lead singer of U2, used a company based in lowtax Malta to buy a shopping centre in Lithuania, the freshlyleaked Paradise Papers documents reveal. The Ozra Mall was bought for £5.1 million 10 years ago through Maltese firm Nude Estates, of which the rock star was a director. Ownership of the shopping centre was later transferred to a company in low-tax Guernsey, Nude Estates 1. The Paradise Papers have revealed that Bono used a firm based in a tax haven to buy a shopping centre in Lithuania. Maltese firms pay tax at just 5%. In Guernsey there is no tax on company profits. Taking any such profits to Britain or Ireland would however incur tax. A spokesman for Bono told The Guardian Bono was a passive, minority investor in Nude Estates Malta Limited, a company that was legally registered in Malta until it was voluntarily wound up in 2015. Malta is a well-established holding company jurisdiction within the EU. Bono, real name Paul Hewson, has been fawned over by world leaders since he began touring the globe calling for more third world aid and debt relief. Critics have observed that he is a multimillionaire himself who could have paid more in tax to help the poor in the West and overseas if U2 had remained based in their native island. Instead, it had already emerged that much U2 money flows through the Netherlands, where a favorable tax regime reduced payments and maximized profits for the band. But Bono said 2 years ago that the band paid a fortune in tax, and brushed off criticisms of the Dutch branch, saying that it was just some smart people we have working for us trying to be sensible about the way we're taxed. And that's just one of our companies, by the way. There's loads of companies. The Ozra Mall in Utena, just 60 miles north of the Lithuanian capital of Vilnius. The U2 singer pictured this year used Nude Estates, based in Malta, to purchase the Ozra Mall in Utena for £5.1 million, €5.8 million just after it opened in 2007. Bono, 58, has bought himself a villa on the French Riviera, a Manhattan penthouse, and a huge mansion in Dublin for whenever he pops home. He is also famous for always wearing his sunglasses, which he blames on an eye condition. But he has seen himself as the ideal person to lobby Tory and Labour Party conferences about helping the Third World, as well as securing answers on the same subject with Venus President George W. Bush, South African statesman Nelson Mandela, and the sitting UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon. Not all fans are impressed by his antics. When Bono performed with his band at the Glastonbury Festival in 2011, protesters raised a giant banner in the crowd with the message "You pay tax too." What are the Paradise Papers? More than 13 million leaked secret corporate files, about half of which belong to offshore law and corporate services provider Appleby, which has 10 offices around the globe. There are also documents from corporate registries in 19 tax havens. These are mostly Caribbean and Atlantic islands such as Bermuda, Grenada and the Bahamas, but also include Malta, Lebanon, Labuan and Island Territory in Malaysia, Samoa, Vanuatu, the Cook Islands and the Marshall Islands. They cover the period between 1950 and 2016. Is this the same as the Panama Papers? The Panama Papers involved millions of files leaked from Panamanian law firm Mossack Fonseca, showing how some of their clients laundered money, dodged sanctions and avoided tax. This is a separate leak, although will raise many of the same questions. Who got the documents, and how? The German newspaper Süddeutsche Zeitung obtained the files and shared them with 95 other media organizations around the world. In all, 381 journalists in 67 countries have been analyzing the material for 1 year. Süddeutsche Zeitung has not revealed its source. What did the leaks contain? Documents outlining the tax and financial affairs of hundreds of people and companies connected to Appleby and the 19 tax havens, with many appearing to have invested or sheltered huge amounts of cash in offshore tax havens. Who do they involve? Multinational companies, wealthy individuals, heads of state, politicians and sports stars from around the world, including many from the UK. Some of the biggest names to emerge so far include the Queen, Facebook and Donald Trump's cabinet members and advisors. Why is it controversial to put money offshore? Offshore tax havens typically offer low or zero tax rates to non-residents who keep money there. Experts estimate that around $10 trillion, £7.6 trillion, is held offshore around the world. That money would potentially otherwise be taxed in the owner's home country, meaning governments are potentially missing out on billions in revenue. Critics also say the secrecy makes it easy for companies to hide wrongdoing. Will this cause a row about tax avoidance? Further evidence of the extent of cash being held in tax havens is certain to spur anger and calls for a crackdown on tax avoidance practices. However, recent leaks including the Panama Papers may have created a certain level of leak fatigue, denting the document's impact.